It's 2 in the morning. Again. Your baby is awake, alert, sometimes even cheerful, looking around, making sounds, ready for the world, while you are completely, desperately not. And then, somewhere around 8 in the morning, when you have things to do, and you've had 2 hours of sleep in fragments, they go peaceful and quiet and drift off into the most serene, uninterrupted sleep you've ever witnessed. This pattern, awake at night, asleep during the day, drives new parents to exhaustion and, sometimes, to doubt. Are they getting enough sleep? Am I doing something wrong? Is this ever going to change? The answer to the last question is yes, eventually. And the answer to the second one is almost certainly no, because this pattern isn't a mistake. It's biology. It's ancient. And once you understand where it comes from and what drives it, the nights get a little more bearable. Your newborn's biological clock hasn't been set yet. Adults run on what's called a circadian rhythm, a roughly 24-hour internal clock regulated primarily by light exposure. Daylight tells the brain, release cortisol, stay alert, be active. Darkness triggers melatonin production, slow down, wind down, sleep. Newborns don't have this system online yet. The circadian rhythm in humans develops gradually after birth and is not fully functional in the early weeks. The brain structure that coordinates this clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, is there, but it hasn't yet learned to sync with the external light-dark cycle. So when your newborn sleeps in the day and wakes at night, they're not being contrary. They're simply running without a clock. They're sleeping and waking based on internal hunger cycles and nervous system states, not on what the sun is doing outside. This is completely normal. Why the womb prepared them for a reversed pattern. Here's something that surprises many parents. The reversed sleep pattern isn't just random. There's a reason newborns often wake more at night, and it has to do with their prenatal experience. When you were pregnant and active during the day, your movement, walking, bending, working, rocked your baby to sleep. The motion was constant, soothing, like being in a hammock all day. At night, when you lay down and stopped moving, that rocking stopped, and your baby, who had been lulled into long quiet periods during your active hours, often woke up and started moving around more. Most pregnant people have experienced this, lying down to sleep and feeling the baby kick, wiggle and roll, right when you're trying to rest. Your baby was already on a shifted schedule before they were born. Then they arrive in the outside world, and that same pattern continues. But now there's no amniotic fluid, no womb walls, and unfortunately for everyone, you need sleep too. The adjustment takes time. 3. Newborn sleep architecture is fundamentally different from adult sleep. Even when your baby does sleep, they don't sleep the way you do. Adults cycle through distinct stages: lighter sleep, deep, slow-wave sleep, and REM. A full cycle takes about 90 minutes, and adults typically string several together in one overnight block. Newborn sleep cycles are much shorter, roughly 45 to 50 minutes. And they spend a far higher proportion of their sleep time in active sleep, the lighter, REM-like stage. In fact, newborns may spend up to 50% of their sleep time in active sleep, compared to about 20% for adults. Active sleep is not junk sleep. It's when the brain does critical development work, the neural pruning, the circuit building, the processing of the enormous amount of sensory information they're taking in every waking hour. But it does mean they wake more easily. At the end of each short cycle, as they briefly surface toward lighter sleep, a minor discomfort, hunger, a sound, a temperature shift, a lost connection to your presence, is enough to bring them fully awake. This is by design. A deeply sleeping infant is a more vulnerable infant. The frequent waking is a protective feature, not a flaw. 4. Why hunger is the engine of the whole system. Newborn sleep is fundamentally organized around feeding, and newborn stomachs are tiny. At birth, a baby's stomach is roughly the size of a marble. By day 10, it's about the size of a large egg. Breast milk and formula digest quickly, especially breast milk, which is perfectly calibrated to be absorbed rapidly. The result, even a full feeding lasts only 2 to 3 hours before hunger signals start again. This is why the early weeks look like feed, brief alert period, sleep, wake crying, feed, brief alert period, sleep, in a continuous loop that does not respect the difference between 2 p.m. and 2 a.m. As your baby grows, their stomach capacity increases. Their ability to take larger feeds at one sitting increases. Their digestive efficiency changes. And gradually, the gap between feeds lengthens. Sleeping longer at night becomes biologically possible. And then, with the help of the developing circadian system, it becomes biologically preferred. But that process takes weeks to months. You cannot rush the size of a stomach. 5. When the day-night reversal starts to shift, and what helps it along. For most babies, some beginning of day-night organization starts to emerge around 6 to 8 weeks. It's rarely dramatic at first. Maybe one slightly longer stretch at night, maybe a little more alertness during daylight hours. But it's there. By 3 to 4 months, many babies begin to show a more consistent, though still imperfect, preference for sleeping more at night. By 6 months, many, not all but many, have established a recognizable nighttime sleep stretch. But you're not entirely powerless while you wait. Light is your most effective tool for beginning to set the clock. Daylight during the day, even just natural light through a window, begins to signal the developing circadian system. Keep things bright during active daytime hours. When it's night and they wake for a feed, keep it dim. No bright lights, no screens, quiet voices. The contrast helps the brain begin to map day as alert time and night as sleep time. Consistent daytime rhythms also help. Feeds, play, and exposure to the outside world in regular patterns during daylight hours give the developing clock something to anchor to. You don't need to obsessively schedule a newborn, but you can gently begin to make day feel different from night. 6. What not to do and the guilt you can let go of. There's no shortage of advice out there about how to fix your newborn's sleep. Sleep training methods, strict schedules, keeping them awake during the day so they'll sleep more at night. In the first weeks, most of these approaches either don't work or aren't appropriate. Keeping a newborn awake when they need to sleep doesn't build night sleep. It builds an overtired, harder to settle baby. The idea that limiting daytime sleep will fix nighttime sleep is more myth than fact in the early weeks. Sleep training methods that involve any degree of letting a baby cry unattended are generally not recommended for babies under 4 months, and many experts say 6 months at the earliest. Newborns are not developmentally ready for that kind of learning. Their cries in the night are genuine needs, not habits to extinguish. What you can let go of. The belief that your baby's sleep pattern in the first weeks reflects something you did or didn't do. The belief that if you just found the right method, they'd sleep through the night. The comparison to someone else's baby who slept great from day one. Babies vary enormously. Some naturally organize their sleep earlier. Some take longer. Neither group is the result of better or worse parenting. You are not failing. You are in the middle of a biological process that takes time to complete. 7. What to do with yourself while you wait. The question most sleep-deprived parents really want answered isn't, "Why is this happening?" It's, "How do I survive this?" The single most effective strategy: sleep when the baby sleeps, including during the day. This feels wrong to many parents. There are things to do. There are dishes and emails and the outside world. And there's a deep cultural message that daytime sleep is somehow laziness. It isn't. It's survival. Your body, under extended sleep deprivation, does not perform well. Your mood deteriorates. Your patience shrinks. Your ability to respond to your baby calmly and consistently, the very thing that helps them feel safe and eventually regulate, is compromised. Protecting your own rest, even in short fragments, is not selfish. It's the infrastructure for everything else. Accept help when it's offered. Let the non-essential things go. Lower the bar for what getting through the day looks like. This season is finite. It doesn't last forever. The baby who is waking you up every 2 hours right now will sleep longer. Then, longer still. And one day, you'll be gently shaking their shoulder at 10 a.m. on a Saturday, wondering how they got to be such a deep sleeper. You'll forget most of the exhaustion, you'll keep the rest. Subscribe if you want to keep understanding the science behind your baby's sleep, development, and the behaviors that seem strange until someone explains them. None of this is random. It all makes sense. Let's keep making sense of it together.